You can see I don't know why they split the third season up into two, but the first 6 seasons, I don't know if 7 was on.
Wait, there's 2 different covers?
No, so season 3 they split it into 2
Let me just
volumes.
make this list.
Okay, there we go, that
Was
works.
that the 18 show?
Wait.
Yeah.
But I'm confused, because
No,
like, season 3,
Season 2 was 18.
but season 3, like, was work a beach, or just another day at the office? I don't know.
Both.
2 log lines, that's confusing.
So let's start from book all the way down. Favorite season, anything you remember specifically, and kind of why that was your.
Oh God, do we have to start with me, really?
What's the other end?
Yes.
Okay.
We can just let people go in
Yeah, that
there.
works.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Did I come in season 2?
Yes.
Okay, season 2. I'll tell you why. I had a meeting with the 2 writers in a restaurant in Brentwood, California. And I had seen the show. Stacy and I, my wife and I, were fans of the show. I even knew that they used the sun to make the air conditioning work in the car, you know. And then I got the job. And I got to be with these people. And I get the DVD. Is that if you pick a favorite season, you get the.
It's 1995. Cash only.
Oh. So season 2.
It's on Netflix. My favorite season.
And you can pick 7 because it's 7 isn't here, or 8.
I like dancing.
Yeah, I'll pick the last season.
Okay.
That was, I think the season that's airing now. Just good.
I think season 2 actually, because I feel like that was, we got comfortable with each other, we were starting to really find the chemistry with one another. We found it in season 1, but I'm just saying that in season 2 we're like, okay, we got a job, okay, so let's do this. But I feel like season 2, I think, was my favorite season.
Mine too, for 2 reasons. First of all, it was the longest season we did, the 18 episodes, and it felt like by the end of it we had accomplished so much. It was also the first time that we were doing a jump. The first season and the second season were all one summer, and then the third season was summer 2. So the end of season 2 had a lot of really emotional payoffs because these characters were going away for months and we didn't know how and if they were coming back. The other reason is my 2 favorite episodes from the series were in that season. The first one was episode 207. You're stealing everything about
That's her one.
207, Comfort's Overrated, written by Connie Burch and directed by Ed Freeman. The episode where Brooke Dorsey and Paige Collins came into our lives. Was an amazing episode where it was the show firing on all cylinders at once. Medicine, drama, comedy, locations, music, and Brooke. And the second was the season finale of 218, Listen to the Music, directed by Gus Macris. And that was we had John Legend guest starring, which was amazing. We had Will Chase. And there was just an emotionality to the end of that episode that made it feel like I can't wait to come back next season and do this again.
Same, season 2. I thought I would be the only one, but yeah, we came back the first season. We I think everybody was just excited that we were doing a show, and we were I even feel like maybe I might be alone in this, but I felt like I got a handle on this character, and this is good. By the second season, you guys have had time to think about it, and the growth, the jump of in quality between the first and second season, for me at least, reading the scripts was just a whole different.
Because everyone was in more scenes.
Because everyone's in more scenes. Well, also my character specifically, I don't know if it was like a noted conversation or whatever, but my character became from kind of 2.5 dimensions to like 8 or 3. Just a fleshed out human being. And then Brooke, who was supposed to be, Paige Collins was supposed to be a couple episodes, or maybe like
Supposed to be 3 or 4 episodes.
3 or 4 episodes, which it just worked out so well with us and the character. Everything worked so well that became like the runner for my entire my character's journey throughout the whole series. And my favorite episode of all time is 217, written and directed by that man Michael Rausch.
Which
really? Yeah, I never knew that. But the A and B story, the Ace, I forget. Well, one of the stories was your big engagement party that was shot on that roof. What was it called?
Ink Hotel.
The Sun.
Yeah.
That was amazing to shoot. And Evan, as he's like realizing that he was in love with this girl for the first time ever he's in love with her, he finds out that she has a snoring issue, which, and then I believe that's the SRSA I love you for the first time. It's like, which was, yeah,
In what season?
Season
Season 2?
Yeah, two. Were you kidding?
No, I just couldn't believe it was that early, that early. that you
It
said,
all
"I love
happened.
you."
It was the end of season 2.
Wow.
And The Hangover season 2 too. That's a great episode.
I would say season 1 and the last season. I remember it was 104 when the phrase the Robin Hood of medicine was coined, which was a funny thing because up until then it might have been perceived that my character was someone who only treated the rich and famous in the Hamptons, and I think having something to do with the economy and a sort of initiative coming from the network, but the writers brilliantly translating that into our show made me a doctor who treated both the rich and the poor alike, and there was a sort of promise there that I would take care of the patients I'd committed to, whether it was Jim the fisherman or Don the policeman. Once I committed to them, regardless of their health care and their coverage, I would stick with them, and that promise stayed true thanks to these writers who don't forget a thing, and when they make a promise, they stick to it. And so when you come back in seasons 7 and 8, I have continued to take care of those characters. We've never, let the audience down on those promises. And of course, by season 8, all the amazing characters from Paige to Jeremiah had now come together, and we had this world. So 1 and 8.
I'm going to go with 2 and 7. 2, I think really because season 1 felt a little bit like a sprint, as it often is, because you're figuring it all out while you're shooting it. And we, as a writer's room, we had an amazing group of writers. In between the seasons, we were able to stop and really think about what we wanted to do. And I just loved so many episodes in that season, and I love bringing Paige and Evan and having that. And I'd say season 7 because we found out that we were going to get 2 last seasons. And we, in the writers' room, decided to make it to look at it and break it as one long season. And so we were really able to begin to lay the track for the end of the series in season 7, and to begin to creatively pay off what we'd spent so long setting up. And there was something incredibly gratifying about it, and it felt like an incredibly strong season because we were energized to kind of get to the finish line.
It's so funny to think about the life of the writer's room, where there was a whole other show happening. I mean, they were just living this, the DNA of our show, and I wish they could all be here to do things like this, because they could speak so well to all the experiences. Better, yeah, for sure. But I mean, that's just a whole part of this world where it's hatched that isn't represented here, but what an amazing writer's room we had. So, I mean, Carol Flint, Connie Burge, John Sherman, Jack Bernstein, these amazing,
Carol.
Jessica Ball, just such great writers.
You're not off the lucky spot.
I'd say season 2. For me, I came in season 2, and to walk into a show that's already successful, the characters, all the cast is already gelled. It was amazing to see that from an outside perspective, and to watch my character, the transition that she went through from the very beginning. She was quite different in the first episode, and to play all those levels was really fun. The drama, the comedy, and then getting to have all the romance between Evan and Paige was something I'd always wanted to do, and I wasn't sure if I was capable of doing something like that. And then getting to work with Paul and having it be so easy, it just encompassed everything that I wanted to do as an actor that I hadn't yet done.
Perfect. I have a fan question from Mark, and also since we're kind of getting closer to time, I have 2 rapid fire questions for the whole group after. Fan question for you.
Yes.
I know somebody on the cast is already going into a new medical show in the fall.
Wait, can I just say something about that
Yes.
before the question comes up? It is so brilliant that Reshma is about to be a doctor, because in the final season of Royal Pains, she's going to medical school.
Can I say it? I think I can. What's so ironic is that the medical school that I want to get into in Royal Pains is the medical school that I go to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're not revealing that, but.
Yeah, it is, yeah, it was in last episode.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was.
But that's.
Regardless, I'm not a writer.
She literally goes from our show to medical school. We don't get to watch that. Nobody needs to see the 8 years of residency. She's not there this fall.
With a different name.
Amazing.
But the fan question for you is, now that Royal Pain has ended, your next big gig, do you want to go back into doing something as a doctor again, or what goes in your mind on what's next for you?
Well, the truth is I'm doing this stint on Prison Break, which I can't really say much about, but all I can tell you is it ends up being the diametric opposite of what my character is on Royal Pains. I guess I said more than I should.
All right, we're running out of time. 2 rapid fire questions for each of you. First off, from when your character started the series, so whether it's in season 2 or later, to where they ended up, what would you tell them now, that knowing what you know now? So, you started back as a surgeon, engaged, obviously things have changed. What would you tell your past self to look forward to, or a mistake not to make?
As a person or the character?
As a character.
So if I could go back and say, listen, Evan.
Yes. That was a long-winded way to get to that.
I have to think about this.
Okay, who wants to start?
Mark does.
I'm happy to start. I would say relinquish control, Hank, surrender to the greater powers that be of destiny, and follow your heart, and you will be okay. And I think actually the writers have written him to do just that, as the character sort of resolves himself in the final episodes.
I would say, Evan, the hair is not working.
We're talking season 1 and 2.
The sideburns are ridiculous. You think you're Captain Kirk? Why are they with you? Why is there a point? Who decided to do that? Paulo is the one who decided. And 3, I know you mean well, but you're acting kind of like a douchebag. You're just try. You should start meditating, because who you are underneath all that is a beautiful, is like a wonderful, playful kid. People will love you for who you are. So you should just calm down, cut your hair, cut those ridiculous sideburns, and dress a little better, less fluorescence.
I would say, Divya, chill out. It'll all be good. Thank you. Succinct.
I would say, Jeremiah, other people need you, and you have something to offer them.
Oh, that's nice.
I would say, Eddie. Yeah, what? Okay, I don't have a lot of time. Eddie, no, please. Family is everything.
From the very first episode, I told her to ease up. She was kind of whelmed on that when we first met her.
No.
Can I inject a question for our showrunners?
Yeah.
What they would say to their first season selves as showrunners in Royal Pains?
Ooh, great question.
I'm so glad you're going first.
This is a curveball, I'm sorry, but I'm just kind of
It's
curious.
more like,
Well, you don't get to answer as characters.
more like a baseball right in your skull.
Seriously
No,
though,
it's a great question.
you've learned things
I'll
over
take
7
while he's
years
talking.
that we won't know, but maybe we'll see a glimpse.
I think I would say, sit back, be ready for an incredibly satisfying and life-changing experience, and just know that the next 7 years and 8 seasons are going to be hard work, but incredibly fun, and you're going to make friendships and work with people that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
And then you'll be like, 8 seasons? What? Wait, you know this? Who are you?
I would say to my first season self, you're not going to believe this, but the show went 104 episodes. And also to try and trust in the voices of the writer's room, especially as a show like ours is lucky enough to get the attention that it's gotten. A lot of people start to tell you what they think the right direction is for the stories, for the characters, for the tone, and I think especially because the stories that we told were so personal to us, the best we could do was just listen to what our instincts were inside our writer's room, and also, you know, by the end of I think the first season, and certainly the second season, we started to feel like these actors enjoyed as much ownership of these characters as we did. And so that amazing collaboration that I think Reshma talked about earlier, we started to chart the future of these characters in concert with these actors. And in those two rooms, you know, on the set and in the writer's room, we had all the feedback and all the guidance we needed, and just trust that.
I know we're going to probably try to wrap me up, so I'm going to do one final question to speed around it. This festival was obviously created by fans, it's for fans. What does being a TV fan mean to you?
Oh, I can go.
Okay.
I will tell you exactly, I will talk right to the camera. Okay. We are one half of the circle, and you are the other. This is the one art form you can't do just by yourself and for yourself. It is the meeting of the minds that makes it so beautiful.
All of that.
Well, this is the first time I ever played a character that had a relationship with the audience that I was really aware of as a performer. And something about knowing that let me find things as an actor that I never expected to be able to find. Something about knowing that there were people out there that cared about him, it made me kind of care about him more in a strange way. So that was a really special experience, and one I hope I get to repeat.
I would say when you know that you are affecting people so greatly, that know that they are affecting you as greatly. To know that when the fans come up and are so effusive, just to know that you saying that to me about the work and the time that I put into my craft means more to me than I can ever tell them, and to know that their appreciation of it is 20 times more appreciated back.
Yeah, it's not theater. We don't get to see the audience reaction in real time. We only know that we're doing our jobs well when people come up to the actors or they send hopefully nice tweets. And there's nothing more gratifying than that. That's when you find out you're doing something right.
As for myself, to be a TV fan, I started watching Game of Thrones late because my wife had started to watch it, and I was like, fantasy and zombie creatures and what. But then I started watching it, and I got hooked, and I was like, holy shit! I watched the entire series in like 2 weeks. Like I had that ravenous like thirst for every next episode. I didn't sleep. And that's like a special thing. It's like literally 3 days of your life you dedicate to it. So when I meet people, and I've met more than once, I've met people, like a couple will be in front of me in line, and they'll turn around and say like, oh my God, oh my, they'll freak out. They'll be like, we've been watching you for like 3 days in a row. We've been binge watching the show. And it's like, what? You've been watching us for what? It's mind blowing to be a part of it. It's powerful.
I would have said exactly what Paula said. I love my shows, whatever they are, whether they're Mad Men or Fargo or even Survivor. And there's nothing greater than cuddling on the couch with your wife and watching the TV that you love. I mean, I cherish our TV time. We do it every night of our lives. We have 3 children, and there's nothing more relaxing than to sit on the couch and watch our shows. But I would also say that it was, I don't know if this is actually related to the question, but to get to play a character who was a role model of some kind was something I didn't get into this business to do. It wasn't something you become an actor for, to play a character who could necessarily be a good example of the way a life should be lived. With the virtues and stuff, but to have gotten to do that for 8 years and to walk around with that when people come up to me is a great honor and privilege, and there's something about it, even though I hope to play lots of other things that are not not necessarily as virtuous. This has been a great experience.
I think that life moves so fast, and I think we all want more time. And so the fact that fans decide to use their time watching a show, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is a night, to commit from their life and watch a show is a tremendous responsibility. And so I think that we were aware of that, and we tried to honor that. And we took it very seriously to try to make every scene in every episode worthwhile, so that, because we, as Mark was saying, we watch TV too, and there's nothing worse than turning the show off and being like, I can't believe I just spent an hour watching that show.
Yes.
So to try to leave people with a feeling of creative satisfaction, also that it helped them in their day in some way, smile, feel good, feel sad, whatever, to be able to watch it next week.
On the heels of that, I just remember this moment. We had been traveling, we'd been shooting in the south of France, and then we had a moment in Italy on the way back to America, and this woman came up to me in the streets of Florence, and she said, Dr. Hank, you are my therapy. You are my therapy. I sit and I watch you and I forget about the problems of my life. And thank you. And
She said she quit her therapist.
she quit her
She quit her
therapist.
therapist and started watching Royal Pain.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So quit your therapist. Buy seasons 1 through 8.
Right. I would say the whole thing feels like friendship. You know, when you watch a show for long enough, you start to feel like you're friends. And certainly when you bump into a fan on the street, they treat you as a friend. They give you a hug, they give you a high five, they want a selfie. And it's just sort of an instant connection that you have with someone, and an instant bond. And it's a really, really cool thing. There's no other job in the world where you have that with someone you don't know.